Greetings, beautiful soul. So, I've actually been having a lot of technical difficulties. The energies are so high at the moment. That's such a funny phrase, at this moment. There's an eternal, infinite moment. We're in the infinite now. Anyway, I am treading very softly and asking the technology not to be delayed, not to pause, not to stop, to keep up with the high frequency that we're all experiencing. So stillness is key here. Lightness of touch is key. I've only got 3 packs. There's 2 Oracle and 1 Tarot. So simplicity, simplicity. And I've had the spirit of deer visit today. And deer connects with the white heart and Christ consciousness. They are so magical beings. They are very big, but when they move silently in woodland and forest, creating pathways that are sensitive and in flow with the growth of the forest and wood. They are purity. And so through this transformation, that white heart of hope and purity and innocence, I feel, is being called in. The timelines are converging. Now, you may have had some experience of this, whether or not you're familiar with that terminology. For me, it's speaking of becoming more broader, more aware, consciously, energetically, of how we are spanning different dimensions, not just on the physical, but we like in our dream states, we move to other parallel or other astral dimensions. And so with the convergence, that means that all those multiple choices that may have been more unconscious, because we're becoming more conscious, because we are arriving at and continually arriving at that the phrase choice point. It's interesting, the point when I had that phrase, I think it was the first reading or the second reading, about how many millions or thousands or hundreds of angels dance on the point of a needle point. So we are arriving full circle, like the Ouroboros, the tail-eating snake. We're coming to know ourselves more and connecting to a broader, higher, soulful, collective monad, soulful intention of why we are here. And so individually, we have timelines that as our individual souls, those choices, as we become more conscious, are dissolving, and we're having fine-tuning, if you like, our intention. And then those are aligning with other individuals. And so we are coming together in unity consciousness. We're fine-tuning those beautiful strings to a harp. So we are becoming more in tune. And the synchronicities are increasing. I had an experience quite a few years ago where I was on Hampstead Heath and walking with my little dog at the time, and I came across a friend. I had that whole inherent memory of shared experiences, and I went to say hello to her, running up to her, hello, and I knew her name and everything. It was just inherent. And she looked to me and through me. She did not know me. And in that second, there was a heartache, like she shot an arrow through my heart. I then, a millisecond even, realized that was another timeline. I'd crossed timelines. So I know this is tangible and this is real. and nothing to be scared of. So this is the third attempt to do this recording, and as stillness is key. So I was shuffling one pack and two jumped out. So the first one was the seed. We have creativity, consciousness source held in the palms of our hands as a gift to give and receive. That starlight, that flow, that energy. And the second one that jumped out was time travel. How that person with the hands glowing is so extraordinary, those two cards. And opening a portal. We are moving through many, many portals. So I'm now going to shuffle the other oracle pack and ask this technology to keep up, because it kept on buffering and then stopping, and because the frequency today has been, and yesterday, has been immense. I've had to lie horizontally quite a lot. Oh, they said this one. Okay. Feeling. And there's a labyrinth. I'm going to read from the book, because the book is as exquisite as the images. So how do we feel through that maze? It's not a maze, it's a labyrinth. There's a difference. For me, the energy of a maze is quite confusing, and it can move and it can shift, and it doesn't have, for me, such a clear intention frequency. Whereas a labyrinth, incredible, talking about time, you move through a sacred geometry to reach the center, but you're moving in a rhythm, in this sacred geometry, in a space that if you moved in a straight line, you could get there very quickly. But when you move through a labyrinth, and this is only a quarter of it, I think there's 4 cards in this pack, so that then complete the labyrinth. So when you move through the labyrinth, you're shifting dimension, you're shifting through time, you're creating a portal, and you're weaving, and you're moving, expanding time, being present with the journey, with the dance, to then arrive at the center. It is a sacred, mindful meditation. And if you do it with other people, you pass them. So even though you may be very close, physically, energetically, spiritually, you can be far away. It's just so profound. It's just so profound. So it's interesting they got that with feeling. And you've got the 2 hands there as well. So how we're giving and receiving. Absolutely profound. So let's see. I'm really being very soft here because of what's happening with the I'm going to have to look this up. Okay, feeling, page 63. Okay. Our feelings are natural experiences that are both physical and emotional. They initiate an inner desire to find meaning through impulsive understanding. Feelings awaken our instinctual being that faces the natural world and all its complexities with either compassion and fraternity, or withdraw in uneasy retreat from all that is unknown. Experiencing our instinctive self is to touch upon the unformed, primal heart of our being and tremble in its nervous, thrilling warmth. When I hear those words, primal heart, being, tremble in its nervous, thrilling warmth, there's that word awe, in such wonder and magic and beauty. So here we have emotion, memory, beauty, ugliness, and instincts. I do feel there's so much healing with the divine feminine and divine masculine, or you could say sacred feminine, sacred masculine, with that connection with feeling. And how is that seen between the polarity of male and female, and how we embody that very differently and uniquely. So we're in a sacred time. All time is sacred, but we are being able to acknowledge. I say we're in a sacred time, I mean that we've moved into a temple, collectively, consciously. And my heart aches when I say that, because there are some that are not aware that we are in this sacredness, in this beauty, surrounded and held, and have that inherent gift that we are home here. I know many, you may be familiar or not familiar with the term starseed, and many starseeds have not felt at home here because they've had that memory consciously or semi-consciously switched on, and when they've been here, from childhood they've felt adrift, maybe homeless. There's a real wounding of homelessness, and even I'm trying to search for that word. I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I can't quite recall words, but I do believe that why there's so much conflict in this world about borders and who owns lands and countries, is because there's this core, and it spans not just from Earth, but there's this on a very vast scale, this wounding of being at home and then being shunned, and like eviction, and trying to find home. And there is this terrible wound. It is terrible. And that's what causes so much conflict, where people do not feel at home, are not valued. They don't feel they're valued. They're not, others don't value them or their desire to be at home, to be alive, to thrive. So it's being acted out in the a very unconscious, reactive wounding that keeps going on and on and on, because of this deep wound. It's come up again. So while I've been talking about that, we've got 4 of Pentacles. I said that's come up again because that came up in a previous reading. So we're at, when the cards keep coming up, it means that we're in a significant moment, chapter. This video is doing some funny things again. We're in a significant chapter with a big theme that spans generations and timelines. So here we are holding on to what we've maybe built, we've created, or others have built and created and gifted us, and there's needing to hold on yes, we value that, but there can be a sense of survival rather than thriving, because you've got that, it's almost like they're stacked up against a wall. So there can be a fear of disconnect of the abundance that is flowing. Right, just move this one. Oh, this one's different. Two of Wands. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful. The image. It's like a lighthouse. And look at this spiraling up and up and up. The gateway, the beacon. Ouch. And the pathway, that blue pathway. It's almost so that those, I say the spiral, they're separate circles. It's almost like that game hopscotch. And it feels like also like a antennae with the sound moving. And so that's a gateway. So the two is a gateway, holding light and dark, male and female, and there's that container, and we're moving through a significant gateway. I'm told to say the next one again, the number 10, tree of life. Again, you see those pillars. We are the tree. We are within us all, containing all that is and more. We are at this I'm getting the phrase choice point, that point, that dance that has 1,000 or 100 angels that dance upon that point. Okay, let's do a little bit more shuffling. So anything else that needs to come through at this time? Whoa, okay. Three of Pentacles. Beautiful card. The eye that sees. The choice, the infinite. Again, that's a lovely, like a celestial eye. And at the centre, three spheres, orbs, pentacles. See how powerful these images are. With the simplicity, you can really journey and be still with these images. They also are very tactile. With the gold, you can feel it. Which, interesting, reminds me of a message I got this morning. As I was contemplating and walking with this contemplation, they showed me, they said, you've been given books, but the books are not written, they're like braille for you to touch and feel the language. And these were a collective star beings, ascended beings that have come through. I think they came through yesterday, blue beings, and they were saying, we have these books, and it's linked in with your DNA, and it's about that touch, that sensitivity. So hence why we've got these hands. And as these messages were coming through, I was aware that these readings, they are not separate, because we're not separate. They are overlapping themes and they're building. But I love this whole thing about braille and touch. That we can communicate and feel with the palms of our hands. We can read through our hands, through touch. We touch so much, and we are touched by so much. And so how these actual books link to the physicality of us, that we are books, and our DNA are books, and so we can read through this touch. It is something that cannot be explained away. like these images, if we with them, they have metaphors, or even that is like can't be contained. What if we just stay with the beauty, with the softness and the color, and imagine we're there? Imagine we're these orbs, that we are part of the divine eye. What if we imagine we're touching and being touched by these books, these codes, this information, this knowledge, this wisdom? Maybe wisdom comes and is coming in this way, and not in more obvious ways. So I'm going to leave that there while this is very tentative and sensitive. The technology is really, it's funny, I've got the word reciprocating. It's interesting. There's a relationship going on there with the energies. It's really responding to and reflecting back to what is going on. So I'm going to leave this reading there and end as I have with the all complete. It's interesting we have endings and beginnings. So I'm going to complete today with some light language. If you're not familiar with that, you don't want to know what that is, or it's not really your thing, you can just end watching now. I'm going to start with very brief channeling some light language, and often when I do that, it raises my vibration and opens the channel even more, so that I get more information coming through, but it's not going to be long today. So let's take a breath and a pause. Feel our feet on the earth, for we are in the earth, but in this physical form, feel our feet on the earth. To open, to gift and receive in that abundant flow. For all is love and delight and wonder and awe. Ikiatayana at arkukutuish ianat ia at ia. Getting starlight dragon energy, kut uitia. Because all through, when we go through these portals, these sacred places, they are guardians. They are our guardians. No kut uitia at arkukuitia. When our bodies are feeling maybe overwhelmed by the amount of noise, vibration, because our bodies will take in this information, the energy and the frequency and the sound. So much is in the air, like radio waves that we audibly may not hear, but our bodies do feel. I think we're being invited just to take a breath, pause, be in the silence as these vast starlight dragons gatekeep and hold so much for us. As we're stretched, come back here. We are loved and we are held. Saying all we need to do is just take a breath. Just take a breath. It's interesting, that phrase, take a breath. Our breath is a gift, a continuous gift. So much love and many, many blessings, and thank you for being you and walking on this many-layered map that we are all on and collectively creating. This map, that's not just one 2D or even 3D, it's many, many layers of this map. And we're all linked by this goal, this sacred pilgrimage towards this mountain, Because all these timelines, these separate maps that are layered upon layered, they all have the sacred calling, the pilgrimage that will meet the mountain, however we may choose to traverse or fly over, tunnel in, go around. We are the beacons for ourselves and each other's to move through this sacred geometry. Allow ourselves to just take the time and pause before we move through portals. We are being gifted, we are receiving and giving. So much love, and thank you again.